Nomsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, relate from within. So with me today, I'm with Grant Moel. How are you, Grant?
Thanks, Nomsa. I'm fine. I'm very, very fine. It's a lovely sunny day here in London, and I'm preparing to travel. And how about you, Nomsa?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Good, good.
Cool.
The weather is so beautiful out there.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Where you going?
Paris, just outside Paris. There's a retreat that I'm going to a retreat just outside Paris. I'm going there to critique it, actually, to take a look at it.
How long are you going for?
5 days. 5 days. Yeah, 5 days. Yeah, 4 days and a day after, sort of to hang out and debrief and
And
talk.
give them the feedback.
Give them the feedback and stuff like that, and yeah, and catch up with them as well. Generally, to be honest with you, haven't spoken for a while, but mean to, and this is how we're going to go about doing it. So it'll be fun. Should be good.
Okay, okay. Awesome, awesome. Sounds exciting. Really
Indeed.
exciting for you. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
So the topic today is 30 practical ways to get over your dating anxiety. Dating can be both exciting and intimidating at times. Many people experience dating anxiety due to fear of rejection, awkward conversation, or not feeling good enough. The good news is that dating anxiety is manageable by addressing the roots of your fears and using practical strategies. You can build confidence and enjoy dating more. What do you think about the topic, Grant?
Fantastic subject. Fantastic subject because at most point in someone's life, they will date, and sometimes when people, let's look at it this way, they date when they're younger, and they get a partner. Partner splits up, they start to date again. And then once you get married or in a partnership, they do that. And dating's finished, right? It's done. It's over. Or so we think. Because there's many ways to date, because sometimes those relationships sadly don't work out the way we wanted. So later in life, people can find themselves dating all over again. They've changed, the world shifted, the
Yeah.
dynamics of everything, the language has shifted. How do they do it? How do they pivot? So sometimes people find themselves as accidental daters at another point in their life. Also, bear in mind, dating doesn't just stop. It shouldn't really just stop. People get busy with careers, and we're always very familiar with this phrase now, which is date night. Which I kind of struggle with that a little bit. But this date night thing, this allocated night to have a date with your partner, because the rest of the week you're not dating. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's a great idea, whether we're just like, that's it, Wednesday night is date night. We can just be complete aliens to each other the rest of it. I'm not sure if that works too well. I have a view on the modern parlance of this. So remember, dating is dead. Now, also, as someone I spoke to the other day said, yes, we've been married such and such years, a long time, and we've been married twice. What's that about? Did they renew their vows, or did they go separate ways and then realise that was a mistake and got back
Come
together?
back. Yeah.
Dating going on there, I would think. So,
So
yeah,
what happened? Did you ask a question when they said they've been married twice?
no, because I think it was a hurried conversation, and I didn't want to expand it at that moment in time. But I thought I'm going to circle back to that one. I think it was a client I was coaching. I thought I'll make a note. Let's go back about that. What's behind that? Because that's obviously an interesting point for them. It meant something to them. So it's something around their goals and their dreams and their values, etc. So I wanted to expand on that later. So I've made a note to go back next time and ask a little bit more. Because I want to know. But my point is, dating isn't a one and done. It appears and reappears in their life at various times. So, and when people do, they can be a little bit out of step. Oh my God, what do you do? What do you wear? I haven't gone out for years. I don't do that anymore. Blah, blah, blah. What do I wear? Oh my God, I put on what? Anxiety, judgment. Am I enough? Am I good? Oh my God, I used to be good looking. Oh my God, I used to have hair. Oh my God, I used to be slim. All this stuff, right? So it's going on. And who am I now? Who will be interested in me now I've had X happen to? All of this happens, right? So, yeah, let's look at practical ways to get over dating anxiety. Over to you, Nomsa. Over to you.
I like that, Grant, what you're saying that people they do get anxiety. They start worrying about their bodies and start worrying about dating, conversation, and all sorts of things. They start worrying a lot. But I think it's really, really important to work on your confidence. If you believe that you don't have confidence, no matter how much pain you have gone through in dating, you have to know that people are different. Every dating, every relationship is going to be different. So just work on your confidence, self-confidence, and put yourself out there, recognizing your strength and your accomplishment as well. And I think that's important. Do you want to add anything?
No, I don't. I think you put it quite succinctly. That's a great way to look at it. So yeah, so that's what it is, isn't it? That's what it is. Most people encounter it, and some of you, I hope, once you're married, you never have to date again. You know, with anyone else, I hope you're happily married. But we know statistically that's not always the case. And when it is, we want you to be prepared. We want you to enjoy dating, enjoy it. Don't want it to be a terrible task that you have to go through so that when it's done, you're like, thank God that's done and done with. We don't want that. We want you to enjoy it. So yeah, let's explore. Let's explore.
Yeah, that's is really important, Grant. Also, mindfulness is really, really important to stay in the present moment rather than overthinking things, what will be, what that person will look like. I've learned this every time when I'm doing a presentation, if I try to practice in front of the mirror, it doesn't work. I get so nervous because I have this strategy that I think it should look like. But when I decide, okay, I'm just going to be me, I know the subject, and I'm going to communicate with these people like I'm going to use this presentation as I'm communicating with them. It's similar with the date. When you try to create big words, it doesn't work. Mindfulness, it means work on yourself, be in the present moment and just enjoy the moment. Like you meet Nomsa. When you meet me, we're at Ngozi Talk Show. What would you do, Grant? You'll be free. You'll be
Yeah,
like, oh, Nomsa, how are things? That's what the dating is. And then the only difference is if that person is, you are attracted to that person, then that becomes a story. But otherwise, people treat dating as some kind of like you just have to look, get dressed, look good. You got to look good. You got to put nice aftershave. You got to be in the present moment. But most of all, you just got to be grand. Because
yeah,
no, sir, because when you go, let's go, you go out. That person is truly, truly interested to meet Grant, is interested in what you do. And it's just exchanging questions and having a laugh and being playful. Of course, you can't be when you're communicating with me, but you have to be really, really playful and smiling a lot so that you don't really pretend. People pretend a lot.
yeah, yeah. And that's a mistake, right? Because if you're pretending, are you going to keep that pretend up all that pretends up all your life? Because at some point you're going to have to let the veil drop and be you, right?
Yeah.
Hey, hang on, what happened to you? You never was like that when we dated. Right. Because I was living a lie when I dated. So yeah, you got to be the real you. Otherwise, you're just investing in trouble later down the road. Because if they like what they're dating and that's not really you, and that's not fair either. That's not fair
No.
to the other person because you're asking them to buy into something that isn't you. So don't make a facade. Be the real you because there is someone out there for everyone. There really, really is. I mean, there's not one. There's several people for everyone, and that's the point. As I always say to people when it comes to dating, if they're not if they're not good at finding a partner, it's not that they're bad at dating. It's just that they're terrible at marketing, because it's just the same as business marketing. You've just got to find the right match for you. And it doesn't matter what your strange quirks are. I mean, as long as you're not completely horrible to people, there will be someone for you. There really will be. So it's about having that confidence, and also if you are nervous about it, I guess it is about you know acknowledging anxiety, acknowledging that, oh, I'm a bit anxious about this. That's okay, because I think if you're dating someone, if you are, and you haven't been dating for a while yet, and they say they haven't, I think it's okay to say, I was a little bit nervous about tonight. I'll be honest. I think it may put them at ease, because they may say, yeah, so was I actually. It's kind of a nice thing. And if they're not, then you might want to ask yourself a question about that, because if it isn't something you've done for a long time and it's important to you, it's natural to have a little bit of anxiety. So I think the first part is to accept that, because it's normal, and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. In fact, it makes you a human. So just acknowledge that, I would say, would be the first point. What do you think, Mums?
I actually agree with you, Grant. I was about to share this video. I actually agree with you because we, at the end of the day, is our thoughts that actually make us feel the way we feel. We end up thinking about things that don't exist. So it's really, really important to control your thoughts. Sometimes I get people on Facebook, they tell me they'll go on dates and stuff, but they are worried. They've already worried about what that person is going to do. What if they don't show up? What if I go on and they don't show up? They don't do this. So I'm like, if a guy wants to take you out, they wants to take you out. So if they decide not to show up, that's okay as well. And it's fine. But as long you want to go on a date and just stay in a positive way, be positive about that date, and just go and be yourself and challenge those thoughts, because if you want, first you have to think about introduction before we can think about anything else. First date is introduction. We are checking things out. Is this person, is there any attraction? But for me, I don't think on the first date people should just give up on the first date. If the woman is what you're looking for, a man is what you're looking for, I think try second date. Because the first date, everybody is thinking nervous. People are thinking, it's just me. If I go on a date, I don't think I can get nervous, because honestly, I would just take that date as just going on a normal, meeting a normal person. But the only difference is that person, am I attracted to that person? And mostly, if God set up that date, that's where I show up. If there is no of God, I don't show up. So when I go on a date, I have to know first that that date is worth for me. Meaning I have to communicate with the person, find out what they do, um, their goals and stuff. Because you can't just say, okay, I like you, I want to go on a date. I need to know the basics. The
Right.
things that somebody will fill on my application form, my dating application form. I want to find out that you tell me your name, you tell me what you do. Why do you think you should go on a date with Nunza?
Right. Yeah. Not be attracted in the first place. Why do they want to?
Yeah,
Okay.
why would you want to take me on a date? What actually triggered you to? You tell me that, then I show up. Then I ask God, based on what this person has said, what do you think now? Can you help me now to finalize things? If God says, oh, the dude is fine, you go. The
I,
dude,
I bet, Mum, sir, the people out there listening have asked this question before, and I'm
yeah.
dreading to think what answers they've ever actually received. Why someone wants to date you? This is why you want to date me, and what's going on? I mean, there's been all
Honestly,
crazy.
I have to ask, Grande, if you say, no, sir, I want to take you out, tell me one reason. Why do you want to take me out? It's very simple. I find you attractive. and I think you're beautiful, and I want to know more. I want to know more about you. If you keep it simple, that means you are a good guy.
I think
If you
so.
start, yeah, if you
There's a
start,
curiosity because you can't
yeah,
know everything at that stage, right? You can't
yeah,
know everything, but an attractiveness and a curiosity, I think, is a great
yeah,
place to start. Yeah.
yeah. So if you keep it simple, uh, keep me curious more. Okay, I want to know more. And then I have to, it means when I meet you, I have to tell you, explain as well to you why I agreed to come to
Yeah,
meet you. Yeah.
absolutely.
So that's fair enough. So what do you think?
I think it's a two-way street uh, because someone who I knew years ago, I wasn't dating her as a lady I knew.
Yeah.
And funny enough, she's come back onto the radar after years, not on a dating sense, but just in my sort of business radar. We was at an event, and after the event, we were talking, and she said that, and we said, are you married? Are you single? And she was single. All right. And I said, are you happily single? No, I wouldn't mind meeting someone. I said, we must meet loads of guys in your work, but and she said, yeah, but I want some certain criteria of what I'm looking for. I was there with a female friend at the time. We asked this like, what are you looking for? And boy, oh boy, out come the list. There was And I'm kidding. She must have been speaking for about 7 minutes about this list. And I was like, have you met a guy like that? And she's not. And then my question was, so are you that person yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, no, but that's what I want. I'm like, yeah, the easiest way to meet someone who's got those criteria, those attributes, is to have really great attributes yourself. It's kind of like, how do I get a job in a really great company? Be great. It's
Yeah.
and it fits. Put in its most simple terms. Obviously, we can break it. And I know some of the values you might be looking to someone else might be different to you, but they should be complementary. You should have high values yourself and high attributes, and to match, right? To match, complement. They haven't got to be the same, but they must complement. Um, but yes, some people are, I'm not doing any work on myself. I don't care. I'm just a complete slob. I was really organised, hard working in this now, just so they can take up your slack, basically. It's but I mean, I joke about that, but in some circumstances, that actually works. Yeah, there are no absolutes. Um, I know some people who are very hardworking, very intelligent, very smart, and they're married to the most dim people because perhaps they find that refreshing.
I need a clever guy.
You need a clever guy,
I
right?
need a guy that will keep me on my toes. I don't like a man that is just dim, that is no goals or nothing. I just need a man. For me, when I ask a guy, because some women have a list. Me, I don't have a list. I say, God, you know my desires in life. Give me a man that aligns with my desires. That's
There you go.
me cutting everything off, knowing that God will fulfill my dreams. Give me a guy that aligns with what I'm looking for. It's like we have our own businesses, we're speakers, we're this. I just need a guy that is an architect. I'm a mentor. So a guy that will keep me, that will actually mentor me to become, that will be coming with creativity,
Yeah.
and I bring those creativity to life. That's the guy that I need in my life. But in order for me to do that, I have to go to God and say, give me a man that aligns with what I'm looking for. I've never dated a dumb guy ever in my life. I have never, ever actually, all the guys that I dated, they're smart. So I have never, ever, they're not controlling either. I've never, ever dated a guy that controls my life, that say, do this, do that, and things like that. Because I just, I go to God and say, God, please just give me a man that aligns with my desires. I don't know about you, Grant. If I go and say, give me a guy that is intelligent, that is wealthy, that is this, that is me cutting everything off. So I need all. I need a guy that carries the glory, that carries everything. The
Who?
be the glory, the guy that carries the glory.
I
That
thought
is
you said someone's name. I thought you said like such and such. And I thought,
no,
well,
no,
who? I
the
didn't
guy
get to.
that carries everything
Yeah, yeah.
that has inside out. Because people seem to think the looks is from the outside. The looks begins inside. So I'm interested in the inner being of a man. If your inner being aligns with the NOMSA, we are good to go. Because what people don't understand is the alignment, the heart of a person, it makes everything
Mm,
beautiful.
yeah.
When they dress, when they walk with grace, when they speak with grace, when they even they go to the gym, everything aligns with everything. But if I get to David Beckham, that is empty inside, it doesn't work.
Is he empty inside?
No, it's not.
Okay. I, I think so. You're saying the person's personality on the inside reflects the way they dress, the way they walk, the way they.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think so. I think so. I was
yeah,
watching some people last night,
yeah.
and it seemed that everybody in this place I was at last night were walking in a strange way. And I was like, what is it about this place? Everybody's walking in a very clumsy manner.
Yeah.
And I was in a place where there was live music, right? So to go to the bathroom and back, people had to walk kind of in front of where the people were singing. It was a small
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
And they didn't look to me nervous by it, but I'm thinking, are they kind of nervous at walking along while there's music playing? Do they feel they're walking in front of the audience to gaze? I mean, it was a small audience, right? Small, very casual audience. And as they walked past, were they awkward and they're kind of conscious and they're kind of walking strange, but everybody walked in a very strange manner. And they didn't seem to know each other. They didn't seem to be, there was nothing medical going on. It was nothing like that. It was, I'm like, what is it with these people? And they was like haphazard. They're walking along, nearly walking into things. I was like, you seem very distracted and very self-conscious for some reason. What was,
yeah.
of course, it was a reflection of what they was feeling on the inside. And I noticed that last night. Um, Someone's walk can be very attractive, I think. Very, very attractive. There's a lot to,
You've got to walk your own lane. You've got to walk it. Yeah, you're right, Grant.
yeah. A
You're
walk.
right.
There, there is there is there is a famous line in a famous song
Yeah.
um, by George Harrison from the Beatles, and it's called Something.
Oh, I live 5 minutes away from George Harrison.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
From yeah, really, because I mean he passed away, but his wife, right? His wife still lives. I didn't know that. I'm a big fan, big fan.
Take some pictures. You should, no, you should come.
Yeah, sure, I'd love to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I follow his wife on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Seriously, yeah, I do. Yeah, I was a wonderful, wonderful lady. Anyway, but his song was something, and the line is something in the way she moves.
Okay.
Right? Look up the lyrics, something but you. And I've always thought that sometimes I can see people when wow, who's that? I'm attracted by the way she moves, right? Quite literally, because again, it's reflecting your inner thoughts.
Hmm.
I coached a guy once who I spoke to the other day, really strangely enough. A couple of days ago, I messaged him. I coached a guy and great guy to work with. Really, I really enjoyed working with him. Really, really good pal, good friend. And I remember seeing him before I was coaching him. And I noticed the way he moved very confidently, not arrogant, but very kind
Yeah.
of. I like this guy. This guy's got something about him. He's a good guy. I don't know. I want to know who he is. And super guy, super, super guy. Really enjoyed coaching him, and I developed him further and brought that. potential. As I say, I always extracting the art of extracting latent potential, but I could see he had something in him. By the way he moved, by the way he moved. Um, for me, it was not a sexual thing. He's a guy, I'm a heterosexual guy,
Yeah, I
but
think
he
sometimes,
had an atmosphere about him.
yeah,
And all,
I think you are right. Sometimes, Grunty, we see people and you're like, oh, I like the way she smiles. I
Mhm.
like the way she moves. And I think that is really, really, really important to actually just to get to know your inner being and really understand who you are as a person. So that when you go out, because I think the reason why people feel the anxiety is because they don't know, they're not sure about who they are. But once you know who you are, you don't really care about people judging you. You just put yourself out there, you show up for yourself, and you are mostly interested to get to know the other person. Like myself, I ask questions. If I'm in the building, like the office where I work, I can tell you that one is married, has got two kids, and that one is this, and that one is not married, and that one has got one kid. Because I ask questions, but I never used to be like that. I would just go and greet someone and then I move on. But I realize that sometimes we take life for granted. Sometimes people might be going through some stuff, but we see them every day. They're not able to talk to us. Um, let's just talk. Let's just get to know each other. And like today, there's a girl, I know her, we always chat in the morning. She was like, Nomsa, I'm so busy. I'm doing the post woman. She's going to go and do some post. I was like, can I come with you? She was like, yeah, sure. It's like, okay, let's go. So then we went. She's not actually delivering. She's not a post woman, but she works in the office. But she had to go and deliver. So I said to her, I'll come with you. I'll carry some of your mails. And here we go. We're talking, we're asking questions, and we are having a laugh. So I said to her, actually had so much fun. When you are doing this work, by a little bit of it, call me, and then I'll come and we can go for a walk. She was like, I don't think I'll be doing lots of all these notes. I just had to help out. But I think it's really, I'm sharing this with you because people think dating. When you think about dating, it's scary, but it shouldn't.
about dating, what?
When people think about dating, going on a date, it's scary to them. It becomes scared. Oh, I've
Yeah,
not been on a dating for a long time, but you've been talking to people. The person you are meeting is a
right.
people, is a person. So um, you shouldn't really be worried. You should just get excited and say, you know what? I've not been on a date for a long time, but I'm just gonna go out and just get to know this person. If I'm not their cup of tea, I'm gonna be okay with it and just go out and just ask questions. And before you know it, you look at the time, it's like, oh, 11 o'clock, we've got to go home, got to say goodbye to each other. I mean, you've had so much time. But imagine, granted, you're meeting a woman and you're actually thinking about, is this woman gonna like me? Is she gonna like my conversation? And then that spoils everything. But when you get there, if you say, okay, who am I meeting? Meeting Sarah and just show up. Like you travel around the world, you ask Sarah some questions, and Sarah asks you some questions. You tell her about your travels, and then what do you like to do for fun now? She tells you what she likes to do for fun, and you laugh and you're like, oh yeah, I like that as well. Or actually, if I was to date you, when you go and do that, I'll be going with my friends maybe and do other things, or we could do that. I'm not saying we're gonna date, but I'm just planning here. I'm just saying if we could date, you could do that, you could do that, you could do that, and just have fun. really, really have fun. But
I think you're right because, if you're having fun, it makes you more relaxed. And if you're
yeah,
more relaxed, it gives you more self-confidence. And I think self-confidence is a key point. So it's acknowledging anxiety, first of all, and then think, well, how can you combat that? And I think if you're more relaxed, you give yourself consent, if you will, to be yourself and just relax and have fun, then you'll be more self-confident. Um, and you mentioned earlier about conversation, what to say, etc. I think when you're more confident, when you're more relaxed, it's easier to find it. But it is useful for people to have, I think, for a lot of people, they really worry about those first few things to say. I don't know why. I personally don't. I never think about it, but a lot of people do. I think about. So, do you think it's a good idea to have some conversation starters just to get things going?
I think a conversation starters is your basics. Is this simplest things that you don't need to think about. It's like me, you can say Nomsa, she's black, she's African. Just for me being African, it gives you a conversation starters. Where you from, Nomsa, originally? And what brought you to the UK? And do you have a family where you come from? Your mom and dad is still alive. How many children do you? So you have loads and loads to talk about.
I, I
Honestly.
I think so, but let me ask you something around that. Is that for a lady of colour, is that okay to ask that question? Where you're from originally? Because
Yes,
you could be
because
born here, right?
you can't assume that I am British. You can't assume that. So you have to ask that were you born in the UK or where you from originally? And
See,
for me as well, just because you're white, I can't assume that you're British.
right.
I've got to ask because you might be
Okay.
Irish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, right. No, I mean, what you said you should say is exactly what I would say out of pure, genuine curiosity. But I've known some people to take offense at that.
No, 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 no.
Not
If
from me,
someone
but
is
say,
taking an offense granted, that means that they are not confident enough.
I that's pretty much my view because I think, well, it wasn't said to take offence. It was said out of genuine curiosity. Oh, that's interesting. You got an exotic look or something. Where does that originate from? And it's a
Yeah.
genuine.
Not I have exact, I'm black. So you got to
Yeah,
put it out there and say, oh, Nomsa, by the way, your name is unusual. My name is Zulu, by the way. Where you from? Okay, where were you born? And then I tell you, and like, oh, okay, what brought you to the UK? How old were you when you came to the UK? For me, I basically, as a woman and being someone of color, it means that you already have a conversation to ask. You don't need to go in front of the mirror
right.
and ask. Yeah, you don't. So when you're asking me questions, and I have to bring it back to you, and I'm like, okay, how about you, Grant? Are you actually pure British, or have you got mix?
Pretty much pure British.
Wow, that's amazing. Because I think I've met 3 or 4 people that are pure British.
Yeah,
Most people, they're like mixed, like
yeah, yeah.
Irish,
Absolutely.
Scottish. Yeah. So to me, I think for dating, if we truly, truly put it out there, those are the conversations that are basics that you can ask. You can't assume that my name, like my name is Nomsa. You can't assume that I'm British. I'm not. So
Well, I
Nomsa,
mean,
no,
there's British and English, but I think the definition is going back 3 generations, and I can certainly go back way further than 3 generations.
yeah,
They were all British.
yeah,
But when you trace your ancestry back, you can be very surprised, very, very surprised. I mean, extremely surprised. But as far as I'm aware, going back my family history, we're English. We're English, which is as you say, it's quite unusual because there's normally a mix somewhere in the way. Sure, if you go back far enough, there's going to be a mix. I'm sure.
yeah.
And probably not just one, probably several mixes if you go back hundreds of years. But certainly for the in recent history, yeah, English. And again, if anyone's listening, I'm not, I'm not trying to promote that or not. I'm just saying, yeah, as far as I am, and that's it. If I wasn't, I would say so. There's nothing great about it. There's nothing bad about it. It just is what it is. And that's where we are. But yeah, it's. I was in a bar in London some years ago, and I think I said this before. We were a group of friends. There was a Mauritian friend. There was two Mauritian friends. There was an Irish friend. There was someone from France, and I was talking to this, I think a Cypriot bar owner, and he was saying to me, "Hey, where are you from?" I said, "Oh, yeah, London." He said, "Oh, right, yeah." He said, "But no, no, I mean, like, where were you born?" And like, "Oh, London." He said, "But like, yeah, but like London, like or England somewhere." I said, "No, no, London." He said, "Oh, you were born in London?" I said, "Yeah." Said, "Oh, wow, okay, cool." Because London, like, it's so multicultural, it's a complete
Yeah.
mess. So, oh, you're born from London. So, like, but yeah, but where are your parents from? I said, London. But your parents were from London. They weren't like born elsewhere and moved to London. No, 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 they're London. All right. Okay. Okay. So what about your grandparents then? And I said, London. So, but your grandparents from London? Like, yeah. Is it so? Like, what are you saying? Like, you're British or something? I'm like, yeah. He said, what, really? I was like, yeah. And then he said, expletive. Yeah. He said, I can't, I've been here 4 years and I've not met one yet. He said, you're the first one I've met. I said, you joke? I said, no, I'm not joking. No, no, no. I said, I'm pretty sure going back generations before that, they were British. Not sure they were all from London, but yeah, they were. Yeah. And this goes, I can't believe it. I've never met one yet. I'm like, you've been in London for 4 years? I think there must have been more than he thought, but perhaps he hadn't had the conversation. But yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is really, really important. And it shows that you care as well. Like if someone they've got kids, you got to remember that they've got kids and how many kids they have. So next time when you go on a second date, you can say, how are the kids? So it's really, really important. Or if that person hasn't got kids, and then you ask him more about their lives as well, like this guy was asking you. So you mean, Grant, you're British? Because like most of the people that I meet, although they were born in the UK, but they either have Irish blood, Scottish blood, they got somebody else, Scandinavian, hope has a Scandinavian blood.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they have mixed. That's why I was saying it's rare to actually meet someone who is truly, truly British. Yeah, it's rare. So that it gives you a conversation to talk to someone and really have a laugh. And yeah, because like when you're saying me asking someone of color, is it offensive? So you've got to get to know me, you've got to ask questions. And all those things, I think they're really, really important. And now ask about work as well. What do they do? That person, what do they do? And what else can you add, Grant?
I I think it's about focusing on the person. And I saw a wonderful dating program once, and there's these guys who couldn't date and they didn't know why. So then they sent them on these fictitious dates and filmed them and analysed why. And they were taking no notice whatsoever of the other lady. Their mind was elsewhere.
Yeah,
They was probably thinking ahead or they was distracted. They was paying no attention to the lady. And ladies, there's some ladies who, let's be honest, some of you are too into yourself, if I'm being really honest, and you're not really thinking of the other person. People are thinking too much of what they want from the relationship, and that is
yep,
important. But a relationship is exactly that. It is a symbiotic relationship. It is a two-way street. You've got to think, what are you bringing to the relationship? What do they bring? It is a meeting of minds. It's not just what can I get from this. It's what can I
yep,
give to this? Because what you give will reflect what you get. You've always heard the expression in all walks of life. You'll get out of it what you put in. So it's about paying attention to the other person and getting to know them, getting to know what they want, just really being attentive, because if you care about someone, you will be attentive. So what about mindfulness? Being focused in the moment. Do you think that's important also?
It's 100% important that you have to focus. Going on a date requires you to really clear your mind and truly focus on that person and focus on what you want as well and what does that person want. But for me, when I go on a date, it has to be natural. If I'm trying so hard to find attraction, to find it, I really, it has to be natural. I got to have a laugh. It got to be natural. I don't have to try really hard to be something that I'm not. It wouldn't work for me when I go on a date with someone. I don't go in front of the mirror. All I have to do is make sure my nails, everything is done. I look good for that person. I got to dress up for the guy. So women out there, please do dress up for the guy. And guys out there, the only advice that I would give you, if you are a guy and you have your own style, even if your style is not good, don't try to be something that you're not. Show up with your style. The woman that you're dating, you both of you gonna work together to find a style that suits you. It's gonna come from the inside of you. If you are like you love clothes, like, and when you meet someone, you'll be like, by the way, I like the way you were dressed on our first date. So can I ask, what are you wearing today? And she would describe what she's wearing. You'll be like, I think I should go get some clothes, but I'm not sure. Would you like to come with me? You don't have to be, honestly, you don't have, and women as well never ever dismiss a guy because of what they are wearing. A guy that is knows how to dress, it means there's a woman behind it. It's either is their sister, it's either is their mother, or is either their ex who has taught them how to dress. So when you meet a guy, if they are not dressed up the way your expectations, never ever judge them. It means that they need help, but do not enforce that help. Don't enforce it. Your energy, everything, how you present yourself, he's gonna want to look good for you. He will say, you know what? I love the way you look. I like to go shopping. Do you think you can come with me? She'll be like, yeah, sure. I don't see why not. And then this is where you go together, bring out clothes, and you'll be like, what do you think of this? And it has to be you as well, the guy that is choosing. You have to choose your own clothes. So the guy now, his personality will now come out. And then everything is sorted out without the woman having to say, I don't like the way you dress. I think I like to design you how I want.
Yeah. So are you dressed by someone? Well, you know the famous joke, right? You know the famous joke. It's just a guy and a girl date. I've said this before. A guy and a girl date, and they go, and a woman says, you should, you should eat this." Okay. And he eats that. And then she said, "Oh, you know what? You should watch these TV programs. You should watch this instead. Hey, you should listen to that.
Yeah.
You know what? You should talk more like this. And then like your clothes, this would look nice on you. You should wear these clothes." And then suddenly the relationship falls apart. And I said,
Yeah.
and she says, "You're not the man I met when we first dated." It's like, well, no wonder you changed me. It's true. So be willing to change, but there is a point. There is a point. There's an equilibrium. You still got to be your. And I see men dressed up all the time. Dressed up, by the way, I'm someone. And I can say, "Oh look, there you are," and he's wearing the shirt. Where's my going out shirt? When he's allowed to go out, the shirt, which comes out all the time. You'll see it. It's pristine. And it's ironed really, really well. And
Yeah.
but there you are. I've done your shirt, the shirt for you. Going. I see this all the time, and it cracks me up. But men are dressed by women. I don't think I am,
No, you're not dressed by a woman, but normally men, they will look at their woman, they'll be like, you know what? I like the way you dress, and then they will make an effort and they'll go and buy their own choice of
Oh, right.
clothes.
Yeah, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like my daughter, the other day she saw her dad, and her dad is going out, and he goes, do you guys like the way I look? And they were like, we're looking each look at each other, we're like, what do you want us to say?
What?
And
Yeah.
we're like, maybe that t-shirt needs to go. And he goes, what's wrong with my t-shirt? And my daughter goes, you wear that all the time. It's annoying.
The, the jacket.
The t-shirt, and he was like, you wear that all the time.
The what? The ticket?
T-shirt, the t-shirt, the top,
Ticket?
top.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the top. It was like, she was like, you wear that all the time. But it was really good because now when you see him, he's wearing different clothes. But sometimes it's good not to control someone. I would prefer not to control anyone when it comes to dressing because the dressing is what makes them comfortable. So you cannot change a guy to dress the way you want. Every woman out there, if they are listening,
Right.
the minute you change a guy to dress to dress how they want, or a woman to dress how you want, that's the minute you take away their confidence, you take away their personality, their comfortability, because the clothes they make us comfortable. So you take away everything that represent them.
That's good. I like it. And
Yeah.
on a date, what realistically can we expect from a date, do you think? Yeah, for expectations when it comes to setting expectations. How do you think we should approach that when we go dating? What do you think? Everyone's got a view. I've got a view. You've got a view, I'm sure. But what's your view on that?
I think the expectations is you go to date someone who aligns with your values. Because if you date someone who doesn't, no matter how rich they are, if they don't align with your values, you'll
Hmm.
be miserable. For me, I look at my happiness. I rather date a guy who has a bright future, who is not wealthy, but they have a light. You've got to have a light. You've got to be
Right.
smart. Then I can turn you from being poor to wealth.
I had a girlfriend years ago, and her grandfather was a very wealthy man.
Yeah,
He wasn't when he was young. He
yeah,
was quite a poor man, but he he's his fiance, his girlfriend became a fiance and married him,
mhm,
not because he had well, because he didn't.
yeah,
She said he had a spark about him.
yeah,
He had something about him. He was a man with ideals, with a plan, a dream. He was going somewhere. She said he had some, and he made something of it. He did.
mhm.
Yeah, but it didn't start out that way. He just had that spark. And some people have something. Yeah, it's not important to all people, but she liked that about him. But I'm wondering what can we really expect on the first day? Do we expect perfection? I don't think so.
No, not on a first date. A first date is actually the hardest. I always say if you meet someone on a first date and you're attracted to them, that is a bonus. You're lucky because everybody is nervous, knaves. Everyone is like, is this girl gonna like me or what? Unless like me, when I go on a date, I always make the guy's life very, very easy. Very, very, very easy. I don't like I ask too many questions, but they don't realize that I'm asking questions because they're having fun. So I always make sure they have fun, they're laughing, but
Good
I
point.
ask too many questions. By the time I get out, I know this guy is for me. If I have a problem, Gary agrees. So all that. But if you go out with someone and you have to try hard, your expectations is just have to be at ease. Make me at ease. Make me feel like a woman. When you're waiting for me at the door, open the door for me. Say, hi, Numsa, open the door for me. We go and sit down, take my jacket off, and we sit down. And my expectations is for you to be you. Because if you are you, then I get to know you.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think it is about having fun, relaxing. Don't put too much pressure, too much expectation
No.
for the first date. I think people do that and they become so tense. It becomes like an interview, like an intense interview, and that's going to kill any rapport. You should just relax and be yourself and go out to have fun. Because when you have fun, here's the greatest thing: you learn more about people by having fun. I don't mean going crazy, but just having general light-hearted fun. It puts people at ease, and it's not only just about you, it puts the other person at ease, and it gives them consent to open up. And when they do, they are open, and you learn more about them from that. So
Yep.
it's smart just to have fun. It's a very smart thing. It's not going off topic, it's actually keeping it on topic. If only people realize it psychologically what's happening. It's a very important point. Very, very important point. Have fun, keep it light-hearted. People feel more relaxed. Their shoulders will literally drop. They will be them real selves, and they will reveal more about themselves, as you will yourself. And you've got to be willing to have that vulnerability and reveal yourself, because after all, you're selling your real product, and your real product is you.
Yep.
You shouldn't be putting, as we said at the beginning, you shouldn't be putting that facade on. So be the open you. Save time by revealing the real you. And if they don't like the real you, guess what? That's good to know. That's really good to know, because you don't want to be investing time in a relationship with someone who's really not going to be right for you, and you're not going to be right for them. It never works out that way well in the end. So you're better off to be the real you. Okay, try it. There might be a couple of things you need to tidy up about your behaviour. Everybody does, maybe. But I'm not saying just sit there, put your feet on the desk and belch. I'm not saying that. That if that's a little bit uncouth, maybe you need to work on those habits. Not that I think any of you would do that, but you get my point. There may be a couple of things we need to tidy up, but still keep it real. Be you, and find the right person around you. And that's that. And be more in a hurry to be your real self, because the more you're your real self, the closer you will find, and the quicker you will find the right person for you. That's my point.
Yeah, and it's really important to actually be authentic. Don't try to pretend to be something you're not. And don't be ashamed about your age. There's some people, they lie about their age. I've met beautiful girls, and they will say to me, Nomsa, when you're putting my age on your profile, please, can you reduce it to 5 years or 6 years? I'm like, what? They're like, yeah. I'm like, why? They're like, the guys, they don't like older women. I'm like, you got to accept you for who you are. You got to love yourself unapologetically. If a good guy comes along, he will accept you for who you are. You don't have to reduce your age. Like myself, I'm 46. There's no way I'll reduce my age, say I'm 30, or maybe say I'm 40. I don't want to be 40, because I've grown since those years. I've grown for that 6 years. I've learned so much. I've grown. I just want to grow more. So if I decide to say I'm like maybe 40 or maybe 38, that means I'm sending myself backwards. Spiritually, you're sending yourself backwards. I've got to be proud of who I am. The right guy will come along and take me to a places I've never been. When I explain to women that they don't understand, and sometimes when that happens, when they find love, they're like, I'm so glad that you made me realize that I am worth it. I'm like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Age is just a number. I don't know about you, Grant. What do you think about age?
I think a lot of people are very sensitive about age. They're
It's
very
14 minutes past, by the way.
It's media again. It's media again. People put age as a barrier, and there's expectations, and it shouldn't be. There is, and it's cultural as well. I think in the West, we're more concerned about old age is a thing that bothers people. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're 25, people think they're old at 25. But people always think they're old, right? I think it's more to do with your accomplishment at that age, accomplishment as a person, not necessarily in career. I'm not talking about that, but just that, as a person, what you feel where you are at the stage of living. But people rate themselves a lot now. People also rate age in the East, right?
Mhm.
But it's more to do with they're more respectful of older age. There is a derogatory term. I think the way people look at people who are older, but as you get older, younger people tend to speak a little louder and a little more slower, as if you're not going to understand or something. It is that kind of automatic old, and they'll speak overtly respectfully to you to try to compensate, like speaking to a senior citizen. I have seen that, and it does make me laugh quite a lot because when you're young, anyone over the age of 30 seems ancient. You know what I mean? It's just off the scale. And it is a kind of a thing we see. I think in the West we get that wrong. I think we get that very, very wrong. In the East, people tend to look up to elders.
Yeah,
It's a sweeping statement. Some countries do, some don't, but generally speaking, and I think that's good. And in a way, you should because they've understood more. When I was 16, I remember talking with my father and, sort of telling him how life worked. Because, of course, I thought I knew everything. I was 16. My father would say, it's not like that. And I was like,
yeah,
and we probably had this debate that probably went on a few days. And at one point, I was telling him something.
yeah.
And he went to give me some advice and realized it was a waste of time because I wasn't listening. He just said, it's okay. He says,
It's okay. Yeah,
there's no point trying to put an old head on young shoulders. And I always remember that expression. He said, "Go and live life a little bit, and then you'll see what I mean." And boy, was he right. Of course, he was right. He's lived through it. He was an elder, and if you will, and he had lived through it. He had that experience, which I hadn't had at that point in my life. And of course, he was right. He'd seen what was right. He'd seen what was wrong. He'd seen the right pace and tempo of which to approach things. He'd seen it, and he was spot on. As he was a very wise man, was my father, very wise, very understated and very wise, um, and a great, great man. I just wish I'd had a little bit more respect to have listened to him a little bit more closely in those days, because he certainly deserved it, and he was right. There's a lot to learn. So you should look at elder people. There's a lot to learn from. I love speaking to very old people because they've seen a lot of life.
yeah.
Any generation thinks they've invented the thing. Oh, we've discovered this new way of doing it. No, that's been there for centuries. It's just new to you, and you think it's new. Yeah. People and I love history. When I look at history and people, fashion may change, technology may change. People don't change that much.
Yeah, no, they don't. I
No.
was asking one, I like asking questions as well to the older generation. I love.
Yeah.
That's why I used to hang out with my father-in-law because he would tell me history. I was asking one of the women as well at the dance, one of the secretary, and she was saying my children is dance. He was
Mm.
telling me that the UK used to be in poverty. It was like it never used to be like this, norms. I was like, really? I was like, yeah, things were different, completely, completely different. So I was really shocked.
Yeah, it's a different subject for a different day, but it's like when you look at my expression is, and there are exceptions to this rule, but the working class have never been so rich in their life, is
Hmm.
what I think. Now I know there's things we can't, there's certain things like buying houses is way, way more expensive than it used to be.
Hmm.
Standard of living is way higher, way higher. My father used to say this when he was younger. People say, "Oh, we need to have this and need to have that." And half the things they're saying they need, you do not need. You want, but you
Yeah.
need. There's a very different. Oh, we need to have that. No, you don't. You don't. It's acceptable and normal now
Yeah.
to have it, but it's not. You don't need it. You need very little to survive as humans. But when we're looking there, I mean, I got caught in the school run yesterday. I took my car somewhere, came back and got caught in the school run, which I really do. It's chaos. And I was like, what is going on? What the hell is going on? There's people, one person in a car. I mean, it was chaos navigating through the side road and like, picking these kids up and taking them 3 streets away. And I'm like, why are they not walking? Right? I mean, why would you get a lift to school? It's like, had the
Round the
parents not got somewhere
corner,
to go? And
around
it's
the
like,
corner.
yeah, when I was at school, everyone I knew walked to school. Some kids got the bus to school. I maybe 2 kids got a lift to school. I got a lift off my father, I think twice, because for whatever reason he was going earlier or later that day. I can't, and oh, I'll drop you off on it. That was it. He wasn't doing it on purpose. He just happened to be going past that way at the same time as me because I could walk. It wasn't, I walked. Why would you not? I mean, I wouldn't bother them. It's like, and it was exercise as well. And it was just like his kids, and you chat to your mate. Maybe my mate would knock on the door, and we'd walk to school together, or I'd walk on my own, or see another couple of guys I knew, and we'd chat on the way, or a girl I know. We talk conversation. It's a different culture now. Everyone gets a lift to school because it's almost a norm and it's expected. And if I don't do it, well, the other parents do it. It's that keeping up with the Joneses thing, which I'm really vehemently against. Actually, I really disapprove of that.
I only live around the corner of the school. My youngest one is at the back. It's like 5 minutes. But some parents where I live, they drive, but I walk. And I walk to work because the work is this side, the 5 minutes, and the school is 5 minutes. So if I drop my daughter and then I come home, I walk past chatting to other people, then I'm at work. So really, because you find that you're spending like 10 minutes, you drive 2 minutes, and then you spend 10 minutes looking for parking.
Right, right, and I mean, not everybody lives close to the school. I completely and utterly understand it, but yeah, my question is, if you are living relatively close to the school and you're spending that time park, isn't it quicker just to walk? And
It is.
don't say because the bad weather. I used to walk to school in all weathers, like horizontal wind in your face and gay, but that's why we had a code.
Yeah, I said to you earlier, Grant, we need to go.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
22 minutes past two.
yeah, we should go. We should go,
Yeah,
but
you're enjoying chatting.
we did.
I
Well,
think today it's been great. Yeah.
good
I
stuff.
hope
So, what's your key takeaway from today? Do you think, or your key piece of advice for people not so when it
I
comes?
think for me the key of advice, I'm just gonna try not to use big words. Just be authentic.
Just do
Where
what?
just be authentic.
Yeah,
Really, really wear your authentic coat. Because if you try to understand your image, understand what you want in life, what are your expectations when it comes to dating, and just be authentic. Don't fear. I'm not a matchmaker that says go and buy this color suits you. I like a woman who goes and buy the dress that she loves, the color that she loves, and then she walks it in that dress in her high heels, carrying her handbag, and just walking it and just enjoying who she's becoming. I think that's authentic. I like a guy that knows what he wants. A guy that I like, I'm an old generation guys. I like a guy that is well cultured. I just love that. Even for my agency, for my woman, you got to be a guy that is well cultured. But if you a guy with egos, I don't take him because I have to think about the woman that I'm going to introduce you to. That person, it could be me.
right.
So yeah, so I like well cultured guys.
Good, good.
That's me. Simple, keep it simple. No matter how wealthy you are, you got to stay humbled.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. As someone once said, "Be good to the people on the way up, because you might
Yeah.
meet them again on the way back down." right? Not always life stays the same, but it doesn't matter anyway. And I will often watch people, um, and I don't like it when I see people being very nice to people who are of value to them, who can help. I don't mind that at all. But what I don't like is when I then see them being very dismissive to people who are of no value or help to them. I watch the small things. I don't watch the show of people. I watch the stuff when they're not on camera, when they're not being shown, when they're not being judged. I like to see when the pretense is dropped. Who's that person then? That tells me all I need to know about someone in life, in business, in dating, in everything. That's the important thing to me. And again, it comes back to what you said. It's about being authentic.
Yeah, be authentic, keep it simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep it simple, be authentic, overcome, challenge your negative thoughts, look at them and have realistic expectation and just enjoy dating. It shouldn't be a task, it should be something to enjoy. So enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, you're more light-hearted. If you like it, the other people open up. And that's be your true self, be true to yourself, and you're being true to the other person. And that, I think, is the key to initial dating.
Yep, being authentic is the critical component of how you are able to enjoy your date. That's it.
Right.
And guys, if you're watching us from any part of social media, please do share the video and do subscribe to our channel and go to the website. If you want to coaching, please do get in touch. If you're looking for love, please do sign up. For coaching, finding your own voice is a different page, and get in touch. I will see you guys tomorrow. We've got a surprise guest. So if you're watching Gossip Talk Shows, please do show up tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow. God bless and live with grace.
Take care. Bye-bye.